Late night ramblings of a madman. The girlfriend's away, and none of us seem to sleep well when she's away, including the cat. It's Pandora's, Nadine's little suck. Yeah, I just tend to worry when she's away, and with everything that's been going on, I've been worrying a little extra. So anyway, I always feel like a tool doing these videos. You know, we have so much knowledge in our groups, and most of this is common knowledge from the seasoned vets, but you know, every once in a while I'm watching you guys' videos and I see things that I think will help, and I guess I get brave enough to overcome these feelings of feeling like a fool in front of the video. I don't like talking in front of the camera. You notice most of my videos there's not a lot of talking. Anyway, something I wanted to talk to you about was properly indexing a knife. Again, something our seasoned veterans know, but maybe some of you newer throwers don't. And what do I mean by properly indexing a knife? I simply mean grabbing it the same every single time. When we're throwing a knife, there's a lot of physics that are applied to a knife, a lot of forces at work. And one of the things that's taken into play is a moment of inertia, or rotational inertia. And to figure out, if you were to do the math, and it would be a lot of calculus with a knife because the mass isn't in one place, it's across the whole knife. But you basically use your mass and your length to calculate your moment of inertia or rotational inertia. This directly affects how that knife is rotating when it leaves your hand. Angular acceleration. But yeah, again, without getting too boring or too technical, when you're indexing a knife, this length and the mass give you your moment of inertia, or angular inertia, or rotational inertia, sorry, which resists your angular acceleration. So when you index a knife, you need to index it in the same place all the time. And I don't just mean, this is an easy knife to index. If I'm throwing no spin, or if I'm throwing spin, I've got this nice little nook to index in. But even further still, these secondary fingers, if I'm holding the knife like this, it's different than holding the knife like this. And I'm changing that equation once again. If I'm holding the knife like this, or holding the knife like this, there's a big difference, and you're going to notice that at the target. You need to learn to hold your knives the same every single time. It has to be so that you're indexing and all your throws start the same, and that you're not affecting that equation of moment of inertia. But even furthermore, here's a little experiment you can do. Grab yourself a knife, put it into your hand. Grip that knife as hard as you can, and try and wiggle it back and forth. You'll find there's not much movement. But if you pull that knife up a little bit, grip it as tight as you can, try wiggling it back and forth, you get a little more movement. Just move it up another ½ inch. Now we're starting to get into some big movement. And the less that you have that in your palm, the more that knife, no matter how hard you grab, will move. It's almost impossible to hold the knife when it's that far out. This happens when you're throwing. If you've got a full grip your first time, there's not much of that happens. It doesn't move much in your hand. The second time you pick up your knife and you're back, say ½ inch, then you got a little more flick in there. There's a little more movement within that hand grip. The further out you come, the more it's going to happen, the more you're going to see it. And what's happening is, within your throw, your knife is already going through that rotation before it even leaves your hand. Somebody's a little excited. So that knife's already moving before it even leaves your hand. It's already further through your rotation. What you'll find when that happens is it pulls it out of your hand a lot sooner. So now in your throw, that knife is going to leave at a much higher position. And so now we've got a knife that's already further through rotation, leaving at a much higher position, and you're definitely going to notice it at the target. If you have more of a grip and a fuller grip on that, then it's going to leave a lot lower with a lot less. So it's going to come out straight. That's going to slow your rotation. Back to that initial equation about your mass and length and everything else. So it's imperative that you grab those knives the same every single time, to start those throws every single time exactly the same. Because knife throwing is all about paying attention to all the tiny little details. And those tiny little details start with indexing a knife properly. if you pay attention to indexing this knife properly, doing it the same every single time, I guarantee you'll notice it at the target. It's something, that's proof positive it works, indexing a knife properly each time. And I'm hoping this will help you guys with your throwing. I mean, like I said, it's all these tiny little details. The next stage is to pay attention to the details during your throw, your release time, everything else, but it all starts with properly indexing that knife. Anyway, 4 o'clock in the morning, nothing better to do. Thought I'd jump in front of the camera and make myself feel like an idiot, but I hope it helps you. Have a good night, guys.